What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Mando Mondays. This is episode 8. We're going to be breaking down episode 7, and we have a lot of stuff to get into before we jump into the finale of season 2 this upcoming Friday. So I hope you guys are as pumped and as excited as we are. We also got some really cool Mando Monday reveals today, so we're gonna have to talk about those for a couple minutes, and of course we have to talk about all of the Disney announcements that were made at the annual investor call that they just had this past Thursday. So lots of fire, lots of stuff going on, and lots of Star Wars stuff in our future. So if you guys like Star Wars, you come to the right place. And yeah, we're going to be breaking down everything. And of course, later on down the road, we'll be talking about which pops I think you should be picking up, because there's some lesser known characters that I really think you guys should capitalize on that are going to be expensive down the road. So I see we got some people already in the house. What's up, Flipcake? Gianna collecting with Red. Keith Connolly's in the house. I love this comment, by the way. Really awesome. We're definitely going to be talking about Bill Burr's performance. We got Jedi John, of course. Sarah's in the house. What's going on? Who else we got? We got Adam Glenn for the win. What's up? Fiend Figs. What's going on? Damie, Geekstronomy. What's up? Thank you for coming back. And of course, we have Nick's and Luke's Adventures Tour. Guys, stick around. We're going to be doing a little giveaway later on in the stream. So as a little reward for you guys coming over and hanging out with us. We did a ton of giveaways over the weekend. So congratulations to all those winners. And I want to say thank you to our 8 new patrons that signed up over the weekend. I'm still in the process of reaching out to all of you and getting your information so we can get your boxes put together for December. And one last thank you to everybody who helped us out with our mega donation. We raised over $1,000 for Toys for Tots. So stand by for a big hunt video that we're going to be dropping on Friday. And we're going to show you guys every single toy we bought. We already started purchasing stuff today. It was crazy. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in our 2 guests for the evening. Oh, there he is, General Grievous. Shout out to you. Thank you for becoming a patron. That's awesome. And I see we got Professor Josh and Rodney in the house. What's up? So I'm going to bring in our 2 guests. As always, we have my man, Domtober. What's up, Dominic?
What's going on?
And we also have Jason from Colorado Pops.
Hey.
What's up, Jason? What's going on, guys?
Monday, I'm excited.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. This was another great episode. Just I think it was very hard to top the fire that we got in the previous episode and all the exciting action sequences, but I still think they did a good job. And I think they did a great job. I have no idea what to expect in the finale. I mean, we know a few little details, but still, I have no idea. So we're gonna break it down. But first off, you guys were able to pick up the Moff Gideon T-shirt bundle. So I figured you guys can show that off for everybody.
Mine's right here.
That was a big reveal from last week, and one of the things people ask me all the time, and I'll get both your guys' opinions on this, is when it comes to the T-shirt bundles, they are worth more down the road if they're sealed. So do you guys prefer to take them out or keep them sealed for later on down the road?
Buy 2. Open one and keep the
other. There you go. Buy 2. All right, buy 2.
This is the first one I've actually managed to get my hands on, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. So I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit, but...
Yes, and we got another big T-shirt reveal today with the IG-11 T-shirt bundle. What do you guys think of that? What do you think of it compared to last week's Moff Gideon T-shirt bundle?
I like the IG-11 better.
Definitely much more to it. It was a big part of season 1 with IG-11.
Yeah.
So.
And something like why did they? I mean, it could have been production delays or anything, but why did they wait this long to drop it? I mean, this wasn't a reveal or anything. They could have dropped this 2 months ago. I mean,
well, I think they're backed up on so much. I think they're getting ready for the next drop of Mando Pops, and I think they're still behind. I still think they're going to come out with a Mando with the Mudhorns scene. They're going to come out with.
Yeah,
that's a big scene too. So. But they're behind.
Yeah, they are. It's definitely because Gideon and then the IG should have been out over the summer.
Yeah, like there's and same thing with Gideon. Yeah, there was nothing. We know he had the Darksaber. Like
that was the ending of the season. So
yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that knowing that this season was the most anticipated season to come into, everybody waited. They should have had a lot of stuff ready, a lot of things putting out there ready, just to. Mm-hmm. But since we were going in blind with a lot, we didn't know what the season's about. They have to hold stuff back. But now, with the first 7 episodes out of the way, the one more coming, we know a lot. So, where's the Ahsoka pop? Where is the new Boba Fett pop? Where is Cobb Vanth pop?
I want a Cobb Vanth pop.
Cobb Vanth, yeah. Cobb Vanth for sure. Collecting with Red, I'm a little behind on Instagram messages, so I will check later tonight, and I will definitely get back to you. But all right, so speaking of the merchandise really quick and all the collectibles and everything, so because they're behind, and we already know that season 3 is not going to be released until Christmas of next year, this might lead into an exciting spring and summer, because I'm sure they're going to be dropping stuff all throughout next year to get us hyped for another season.
Well, look, I think they're going to drop stuff before March, because March is Emerald City Comic Con.
Right.
So usually before Emerald City Comic Con, even though it's pushed back, they push it to December of next year. We're going to wind up getting some stuff in March. Mm-hmm. So we'll probably get the next wave of Mando pops, which will be a big one.
Yeah.
I'm talking about maybe 10 to 15 pops, probably.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just give me that Razor Crest ride, right?
Which one? The dusted one or the
yeah, the dusted one. All that's left is the knob and the spear. But I'm without a doubt we're gonna get a Mando with spear pop, absolutely, at some point. But yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of stuff down the road. Everything's backed up, but hopefully, once life gets back to normal, they'll start be able to catch up, and maybe they'll just. I think next year, at the end of next year, the second half, they're just gonna be throwing so much stuff at us. We're gonna be so freaking poor. It's gonna be crazy.
Look. I actually think what's going to happen, because next month is a big month for Star Wars because of the High Republic, the novels, the comic books, and they're really pushing that. I got a feeling we're going to get some High Republic pops thrown in just to get familiar with the characters, and they might be limited numbers, the first ones that come out, and then later on, towards the end of the year, get more when the other stuff starts hitting up. But the High Republic is the next big thing, so I think we're going to get some stuff early than late.
Yeah, there we go. What's up, Domtober? #legend. Look at that. Look at that. So speaking of stuff we're going to get, I think we really got to talk about all of the reveals from the Disney investor call. Now, once again, I got to give a shout out to Dom because he was talking about this call for months. He was telling me, he was like, they're going to blow our minds. They're going to be releasing so much stuff. It's going to be insane. And he was absolutely right. And I'm so pumped for everything that they were talking about.
Look, you knew they had to do something because DC fandom took over when that came out, DC. And the Marvel, Lucasfilm were so quiet. Throughout the whole year. Yes, mind you, the pandemic, everything that was going on. But they were still quiet on things. We didn't know what was going to happen this season in Mando. The trailer came out late. Just so much anticipation. And I'm actually very surprised of the stuff that they did drop. I didn't expect them to drop that much and talk about 2 movies that are in the works. And I'm so excited. Patty Jenkins with Rogue Squadron.
That's going to be so cool.
It's going to be something.
Yeah.
But they're actually talking about, does it take place in the regular timeline or after episode 9? They're saying that it might be episode 9. So we might see some stuff after the Rise of Skywalker, which I'm looking forward to.
That'd be nice. That'd be cool to watch.
There could be a possibility the legacy characters like Dark Crate, Kincaid Skywalker, those people can come into the timeline and you could have a new threat.
Well, I could see that because we're getting so much stuff that's being put before, and then they're talking about doing the Old Republic stuff. So I think it would only make sense that they would do something to continue the timeline,
It's just, there's so, look, let's put it this way. There's a lot of stuff that's going to come out and we're going to know, they're going to actually do one past, one present, one future. I think that's the way they're going to do. No more trilogies. different timelines, which I'm all for. You know, the trilogies were great, but if you do a solid movie that fits into one perspective and then do something else for another perspective and different timelines, you keep filling in the gaps. I actually think that Taika Waititi's Star Wars is about the dawn of the Jedi, the origin of the Jedi, because of the picture they showed.
That would be sick.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be, and it looks like it. And if that happens, oh man, it's just going to be. You're going to finally get some Old Republic stuff, actually before Old Republic, which is really good.
All right, so let me get from each of you, because there was a ton of stuff that dropped. What was the thing? Because you mentioned there was a couple things that surprised you. So, like for Jason, what surprised you, and what are you most excited about for the Star Wars reveals?
Lando surprised me. I didn't see that one coming at all, and I'll be curious to see how they're going to do it. If they can get Donald Glover back to reprise his Lando from Solo, I think it'll be really good. He's super talented. And I know that I think his show Atlanta falls under the Disney umbrella, technically. So he's still kind of under a contract with them. So I think they might, if they can get him back, I think it could be a really well done series. What I'm really looking forward to, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So I'm really psyched for those three. Those are my top three, I think, that they dropped.
There you go. There you go.
I'm ready for those.
All right. What about you, Dom?
Well, I'm excited. Well, what surprised me, how many products they put out, what they were talking about, how much stuff is coming out in the next 2 to 3 years. That surprised me. I thought they're going to give a little, maybe about 3 or 4 or 5 shows to just wet our palates. And then when we get the next celebration back in 22, they'll actually show more. But the one thing that I'm really surprised about, that I'm looking forward to, I'm excited for everything, but the Acolyte. I am really looking forward to a show on the perspective of the dark side and the Sith. And if it's any indication of what they plan, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That and Visions, the small animated shorts by Japanese animation. I love Japanese animation. So for them to take Star Wars now in a different level, and we don't know if it's going to be new shows or they're going to do the original trilogy and do it in their style. But I'm kind of hoping it's new because they have the books with the original trilogy. So if they do that, and the Bad Batch, there's a lot riding on the Bad Batch, and rumor has it, Bad Batch is going to be in the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah, and that would be really freaking cool. Yeah.
So if that happens,
Hayden Christensen's going to be in the Obi-Wan series as
Vader. Yeah, and it sounds like they're going to be getting more out of Tamara Morrison, which should be pretty cool.
Look, he signed up a big contract, so you can rest assured that he's going to be popping up all over the place. But the Bad Batch, and I'm just disappointed that Mando season 3 is going to be towards the end of next year, which I'm hoping that we get the Bad Batch like in March or April, and they're talking about maybe 12 episodes, 13 episodes, something like that. Maybe. What comes out, the Boba Fett series is going to probably be in the fall.
Yeah,
like they talk about, but they didn't drop that.
Well, yeah. See, that was the biggest. So that was the biggest thing I was surprised about, that they didn't drop any news or any logo or any art about the Boba Fett series. So that was my biggest shock. Another thing I was surprised to see, I haven't done a lot of research on it yet, is a droid story. Is that like I don't know if you know anything about that, Dom. Is that like a R2D2 origin or something like that?
It's going to be R2D2, C-3PO with a new hero that they're going to travel different places. It's basically going to be a live action type of series like the old Droids cartoon back in the day, where they were the main
characters
of the show. Well, you know what? Just bring the Star Wars. I am glad that whole overall arc of everything for everybody, for the adult, for the kid, for the people who doubted what Star Wars can be. A lot of people were jumping off the train, but come on, the Rangers of the New Republic. That sounds like Galaxy Rangers back in the 90s, the 80s cartoon. Yeah. And that's exciting. And the Ahsoka series is going to be all tied in with Mandalorian. So you can rest assured, all the characters that we've seen this season in Mandalorian, one way or the other, they're going to be in those shows.
Yeah.
So it's a stepping stone.
Well, I'm super hyped for Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. I cannot wait. Like Obi-Wan he's hands down my favorite Jedi. Like I just think he's the best, and just the way Ewan McGregor, his personality, the way he portrays the character, I think is just awesome. I don't think I've seen more "Hello there" memes last week ever since all this stuff has been announced. So,
all kidding aside, the one show that people shouldn't sleep on, the Cassie Orlando series, that actually looks pretty good. What they
showed, that's going to be a sleeper, I think.
They said 12 episodes. So we're getting a 12-episode arc in 2022. So that's what I'm trying to say. What besides Boba Fett, which I know they're working on stuff that they actually are working on stuff that wasn't even mentioned in the drop. And as time goes on, new pieces will be dropped in. So it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. You know, like I said, people complain about what we got, and it may not bend to what we expected and wanted. But this generation should be proud and happy for what they're getting. Because
you cannot complain.
I've never got this stuff.
Yeah, you can't complain about what we're getting just because the amount of stuff, and we'll break this down on future lives, but the amount of DC, Marvel, and Star Wars stuff that we're going to be getting in the next 5 years. And that's not even including any like Disney flicks or anything. Like the amount of stuff we're going to be getting in the next 5 years.
It's almost overwhelming to the point of what you're getting. I mean,
I don't see a reason to leave the house. Like I just don't. Like you have so much stuff. You can just sit at home and enjoy. And then while you're watching whatever you're watching, you can be like, all right, I'm going to go buy this pop because I need it. You know,
if the movies don't come back, the movie theaters don't come back.
That's okay.
It is okay. I can deal without the crowd of people. But the one thing you do miss is when something spectacular happens and people cheer. That is just like Endgame. When Endgame happened, the theater
when Cap got the hammer, the theater went nuts. Theater went nuts. That was crazy. But we will get the theaters eventually once again, just because that kind of revenue is something that's going to be brought back. It's all about money.
Well, there's a whole theater experience too, like Dom said. You know, when you have those moments and the crowds just go insane, and when you're in that room and that screen is just so gigantic and the sound in there, it's just there's something to be said for the theater experience, especially when you're coming to Marvel, Star Wars, DC. Like those are meant to be larger than life.
Yeah.
Versus, some other like a romantic comedy, nobody they can go straight to video as far as I'm concerned. Or just drop it on a streaming service. But
I mean, I was so hyped when I saw Slave One fly in last episode, and I was like, "Oh, this is so awesome!" And Joanna was like, "Bro, get a hold of yourself." But like, if I was around other people, everybody would have been cheering. Like it's just crazy.
Like my wife doesn't watch. Like she hasn't watched this episode that went by, The Believer. She's waiting. She's like, I'm going to wait to the season finale, and then I'll watch both of them together.
Yeah, that's common.
I understand, but I'm excited because I want to sit down with her to watch it, and then I want to have her look at like she's not as big as a fan. She watches because of me.
Yeah,
and
she supports you.
Exactly. And she. And by the way, she's so happy for me doing this that I don't talk to her about stuff because she's like, I need to talk to people that enjoy it.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, look, the movie theaters will be around. They'll find ways because the Star Wars experience, the Marvel experience, there's no other way to show them. And TV's great, but the experience, the overall experience, you can't get rid of.
No, I'm psyched. But for right now, for tonight, we got to talk about episode 7. Now, guys, this is a big deal because we only have one. Well, I mean, this was it.
Yeah,
we only have one more of the season, and that's the finale. And I mean, I have some thoughts about what we could see in the finale. I had some thoughts going into this episode, and nothing happened that I thought was going to happen. So I'm just keeping an open mind. So let's just jump right into it. I was super hyped after the last episode, as I'm sure you guys were, and I like the way some of these episodes just kind of catapult right into the plot. Like there's really no time for fluff. They just get straight to the point. This episode was what, 34, 36 minutes, somewhere around there.
It was about 40.
40.
It was much longer than the last one.
Yeah, it was longer. Yeah, and then you add in the recap and everything. So yeah, it was closer to 40. That sounds about right. But we once again, which I'm really loving with the way they're doing the writing for this season, we get to see another returning character from season 1, and that is, of course, Mayfield. And he was very crucial to the entire plot of this episode. And he even got some redemption, which we'll talk about later on. So,
well, I felt it threw a curveball right off the bat when they went to the junk planet where Mayfield was assigned. I thought they were going to pick up another ship for Mando at first.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
And I was like, oh, maybe they're getting him another ship, or something's getting, somebody had lined up something, and that's where, because I had no idea where this episode was going in.
Yeah.
And so I'm figuring they're at a scrapyard. I'm like, okay, they're getting a ship first, and then they're gonna go. But no, then it turns out Mayfield's there.
They're going used car shopping.
Yeah.
Look, it actually foreshadows, because maybe he might get a new ship from there at the scrap heap. Maybe, Cara Dune might.
Yeah, because Mayfield was there like welding a TIE fighter to pieces. So
yeah, and then I read some stuff that like a lot of the TIE fighters in there were big Easter eggs, and one of the things I read, which seemed a little far-fetched, that one of those actually belonged to Darth Vader, but I don't know how you could even know that or tell that. That seemed a little far-fetched for me. But once again, we see the converted AT-AT walkers, which was pretty cool. So we got to see those again. But yeah, it really kind of like threw us into the dark, and a little bit of comedy in the beginning as we, which I absolutely love.
Oh, the comedy in this one was great. Even just there were so many zingers and one-liners.
Yeah, zingers is a perfect word. Absolutely.
Well, look, it started off as soon as Mayfield was brought to Slave 1. He saw Boba Fett come down. He goes, "Oh, I thought you were the other guy."
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And the look on his face, and when Jaren actually comes down, it just like dropped off his face.
What did you guys think about Boba's new?
So that's what I just wanted to bring up. So that was a pretty significant thing. We didn't get a lot of Boba in this episode, but what we did get was pretty cool. And I think he looks awesome. I think the colors are bolder. He obviously cleaned it, polished it up. My first thought when I saw it, I was like, oh, there's going to be another pop.
A couple.
Yeah, a couple. But he was pretty badass. He was just chilling there with the gun. When I rewatched it the second time, I had saw in another YouTuber's breakdown video that he didn't have his jetpack on. So that kind of implied that he wasn't going to have a big role in the episode, which is, I don't know if you guys caught that right off.
Yeah, because in the pilot is sitting in the seat, he needs to take it off because you can't have, what are you going to have it on in the car?
When they brought Mayfield to this 2 Slave 1, though, he had it on his back.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had it on his back.
Tom's right. He takes it off to fly the ship. He can't wear that thing in the seat.
Right.
He just looks badass more than ever now with just the dark. Somebody told him he needs a cape. He could be the Dark Knight now, which is kind of funny.
I think the color contrast, like he went back to his original colors, but they're much more bolder. It's a fresh coat of paint. And then with the black undertone, I think gives it it's a sharper look. It makes those colors pop a lot more.
So you think he's going to have that skirt? For the rest of the time, we'll get.
I hope not. The skirt, the robe that's sticking out underneath. Yeah, I think it's interesting, but it might be just his look
a little bit. So
he could just be used to it. He was just wearing this robe for the last 5 years. He might not want to take it off. It could be part of his new getup.
Hey, listen, you sit there and the breeze is hot on Tatooine.
So, all right. So one of the things that I did think of, and now that Dom and I are, in this very analytical world, he's always got me thinking, like, is there a bigger meaning to every little thing that I see? Which is a very painful way to watch the show sometimes. But when I saw his new polished armor, one of my first thoughts, aside from there's going to be another pop that I'm going to have to get, was, is this a fresh start for him? He's got his armor back. He's cleaned it up. He's almost painted over all the scars and all the battles and all the mercenary pickups, the bounties. Is this a new start for Boba to kind of pilot him to his new series next year?
Well, the new series is basically going to be the prequel to see how he got to where he was. I still have mixed emotions about the whole Boba Fett arc. Redemption. And Star Wars is all about a redemption. We all know
that. There we go. I like that.
Exactly.
It's very slimming.
Yeah.
And the redemption part is the main thing that follows at every arc in Star Wars. You've seen it with Vader. You've seen it with Ben Solo. there's always a redemption part, and you know, I'm kind of thinking a lot more, knowing that Boba really, his father Django, when he died, he really, the father and son connection really made it more seeable now, that knowing that the child Grogu, that Mando, that's his son, basically his son, and he sees that, and even though he may be wretched and he may be villainous and all these things, he still has a code to a point where family is very important. And if you really have a code, and regardless of the fact, all Mandalorians have a code, regardless their religion in the whole arc of Mandalore, different parts, there's a code. And also being a bounty hunter, there's a code. You have, so there's a lot. And the Boba Fett arc, it foreshadows, every little thing is foreshadowing what's going to come. I don't want to see him die. Mm-hmm. That he cleaned himself up, that he's trying for a fresh start. We all know that. And the same thing with Fama Shan. She was a villain too. We're going to find out her arc in Bad Batch, where she came from, in Bad Batch. So, that there, like I said, in the last episode, before the Believer, when Boba said, sometimes faith finds the wretched. And even being, that goes to being a villain. You're a villain. Is it okay to get redemption? Would you forgive somebody for all what they did, that they want to turn over a new leaf to become good? That's the thing, the struggles, and that's what Star Wars is all about. So, me personally, I don't want him to die. I'm leaning more towards that at the end he could betray Mando, because the connection is just, you got to look at this way. There's too much, like Mando's too friendly with everybody.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that's your crew. First of all, you almost got killed in episode 5, the gunslinger, when you were helping Toro try to capture her. That's 1. 2, Boba Fett, the most feared bounty hunter in all the galaxy. And yeah, people could change, but there could be curveballs, and every layer means something. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. I could tell you just.
No, it's okay, because you brought up a couple of good points. I mean, this is what I mean, the layers of each character development, their backstories, and everything. And I really think Boba Fett is somebody they're not going to let go for a while. I really don't. I think he's going to be in future Mandalorian seasons. He's got his own series. When I meant like propel him to his series next year, of course we're going to get his backstory and everything. Yeah. But I just feel like the Boba Fett series, maybe the last episode or maybe like an end credits scene, is just going to continue to set him up for the future. Because I don't see Lucasfilm, Disney, they're not letting go of now, their arguably second most popular character, right behind arguably Ahsoka. We can go back and forth on that right now. But I thought his armor looked great. I thought it flat out. I thought it was good. I thought it was fresh. I thought it was bold. Maybe the black made him look a little skinnier. I like that. We'll take that. But yeah, we got that witty comment from Mayfield. He was like, "Oh, I thought you were the other guy," and sure enough, that was pretty badass. He had Mando coming in, a couple seconds down the ramp, and I thought it was really funny. Like, Mayfield is in prison. He's in a prison, scrapyard, slaving away, welding away crap or whatever he's doing, and he had second thoughts about even going with them on their mission. He looked back. Yeah, and he was like weighing his odds. Like, am I going to go with these guys? Maybe what I have. Yeah, maybe what I have is pretty good. And then he gets on the ship, and they're like, "We need the coordinates from Moff Gideon's ship." And then he was like, "Okay, well, I'm definitely not your guy. I'm gone. Just send me back to the scrapyard." So he had some major second thought. He was almost just dragged, kicking and screaming into this mission. And of course, they explain the importance of why they need him because of his Imperial background.
Definitely.
Yeah, but you also learn that he's ashamed of it.
Yeah.
He even said that was a long time ago. I'm not Imperial anymore. There was a hint of it. And then you get more of it later on in the episode of why he abandoned the Empire.
Yeah.
But, it shows that he's done with it. He was a part of it. He
Well, I also think it's really important too for his character development, his character arc. It shows that he has a heart. He's not just a mindless drone that the Empire.
He had that line at the end. He goes, "Whatever you do, as long as you can still sleep at night, then it's
that too." I mean, that's
the main thing.
He knows he's done some bad things, but if he feels if he can do a little bit of good too, and it balances out, and he's okay with it, then he's okay with it.
Well, look,
so his moral lines are a little fuzzy.
The side of the Empire that you normally don't see, because it goes. Like, who's to say who's the bad guy? It's like in life, we fight wars. Who's to say the person on the opposite side aren't the good guys?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it works both ways. Your idea of being a good guy is the same way his idea is being a good guy. So it works in that matter. Like, who's to say anybody is bad?
Well, Mayfield addressed that when they were driving the truck. He goes,
when they were passing
you believe one thing, if you're all around, you believe in something else.
And Mandalore, they're both planets that are gone. At the end of the day, you're still going to wind up in the same spot.
Yeah.
So it's very important to know where you come from. Like, if you choose, good and evil come in every shape and form. And sometimes you think about it. Sometimes when you watch evil, sometimes the evil, you think about it, that like Thanos, for instance, you have Thanos. Thanos had a good point on what he did, if you really think about it. But then he's a psycho at the same time. But that's with all the villains. And it comes down to that.
Well, Thanos is an extremist. He has a good idea, but he takes it to the far end of it.
Thanos might not be the best example. I think like villains like Mr. Freeze, like something like that, where he was trying to save his wife. But I mean, Thanos can be, you can relate to him a tiny bit, but there are other villains. And I like how comics have become, and just different, superheroes in Star Wars, like you can relate to their backstories a little bit and you can kind of see what their motives are. And they're not just purely evil. It's not just black and white, good versus bad. And that's something we explore more as adults. I feel like as a kid, you're like, oh, that's the bad guy. That makes sense. But, as we grew up, we see that, the villains might have some skin in the game.
Well, look, the good guys, like when you're growing up, as you're a kid growing up, you root for the good guy. But when you get older, you start to realize, and you can you start to think about, maybe the bad guy wasn't bad after all.
Right.
It's just the
exactly
of what you see.
So we understand that we have the mission. Mayfield is briefed, and he tells Mando that they're going to have to go to a secret base. And we have, like I said, Boba Fett as the Uber, because of course we don't have the Razor Crest anymore. So
the Uber driver.
Yeah, Mando's hooking up a ride.
What did you think about inside the ship when the ship is turning?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so I liked the detail on that, how they showed the rotation, and they were all kind of sitting.
Stay up. Yeah, it's kind of cool that you would think at the ship, because the last episode, my wife is like, "How is everybody fitting in that ship? It's small."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't worry about it." And then now they show it how it works, which the mechanics, which is really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a unique touch, something we hadn't seen before. So definitely shout out to the directors for that. And of course, we're going to Rylock, which is a planet we haven't been to in Mandalorian yet. So that was pretty cool. We're going to a secret base, and where they have.
I thought it was Morak.
Or Morak, excuse me. Morak.
When he first said it, I was thinking Morak, like from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
The same planet they have. I'm like, wait, what?
No, wrong.
Morak,
and they're doing the Rhydonium.
Yeah,
Rhydonium, which is all these different names. A lot of stuff going on. Too many universes in my head. And I like how he just says, Fett, we're going here, and he's like, oh, Roger, let's do it.
You see, that's the thing, Boba Fett in the movies would never be like that,
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd seeing him like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited that he's back.
Yeah.
But there has to be another motive for him to be the way.
That was surprising. Like, he just gave his monologue about how he doesn't answer to anybody, he doesn't take orders from anybody but himself, and then all of a sudden Mando's kind of bossing him around. A little bit, not too much, but a little.
Well, I think he's still in the whole debt for getting his armor back. I mean, he's helping Mando out to get the kid, and once that, he's going to wash his hands of it.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get this done as quickly as possible so he can go do his own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I actually think he might want to settle down and give up. Just give up the whole bounty hunter, everything, to live a normal life.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see that happening for a while, though.
No.
He'll get roped into something else.
They just resurrected your favorite character in all of Star Wars history. You really think they're going to let that go like 10 minutes after he's back?
But I actually think what's going to happen is that he's going to try, and then his past is going to come back to haunt him. If
Yeah.
they do a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Book,
Exactly. He's going to try to go off into the night, do his own thing, find a nice little farm to tend to, and then he's going to get dragged right back in the fight. Everybody knows his face.
Well, his face, not really.
Well, I mean his helmet.
Yeah, his armor now.
Is his armor, his helmet. Yeah. Fiend Figs has never seen Mandalorian. Oh man, I don't know what you're doing. You got to figure out your life. Might not be the stream for you. Go back and watch episode 1.
Why are you watching this? Why if you haven't watched it?
Yeah, you got a little homework, a little catching up to do. So we're taking off for. Oh God, I can't now. Morak, excuse me. That name is not sticking in my head for whatever reason. And once again, we run into a little bit of a struggle because of the IBS on the planet, or the ISB on the planet, and they will detect Cara Dune, so she's out for the mission. And
Famishen, she's out too because
she's out as well. And of course, Boba, another one of his little zingers. He's like, "Oh, I think they'll know who I am.
They'll recognize me."
Yeah, they'll recognize me. So that leaves Mayfield to go with Mando, unfortunately. And Mayfield being as witty as he can, he's like, "I don't know how I can explain a shiny Mando by my side." And they see the juggernauts rolling by, and they get a little idea for what to do.
That's when Cara Dune goes inside and knocks out the guys inside, which makes me laugh. That's kind of like a Benny Hill takes the guys, like they get knocked out that quick.
Boom. Yeah.
You know what? It's a show. We have to deal with it. But
Chewbacca did the same thing to the AT-ST drivers in Return of the Jedi. He jumped in there, beat them up, and threw them out.
That's true. I gotta say though, every episode though, her arms. Anybody else feel like her arms are just getting bigger?
She's Diesel.
Cannons, freaking cannons. But I like a little Cara Dune action. I can appreciate it.
But with her doing that, they steal the armor. Which there you go. There was another thing that I brought up that we thought they were going to be Beskar stormtroopers. They turned out to be in the hover tank troopers with different color armor. Their armor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as we later find out, their armor is nowhere near as strong.
Oh no, yeah,
which is
Din definitely underestimated that when he was taking on the fire.
Yeah, that was like plastic Mayfield. Pieces. Yeah,
I like Mayfield when he's putting on. He goes, "This thing is still wet," because no one ever brought that up. Which is kind of you sweat those things.
Yeah,
and then when Mando had walking, he goes, "Oh, I paid to see this."
Yeah. Yeah,
for the price of admission alone, I believe.
Absolutely.
And he was so uncomfortable walking in it too. Like
he was. And then, of course, Cara Dune made a comment saying, "It's not you."
Yeah. And she handed, he goes in the dark alley and he changes everything, comes back out with his armor, and I thought when I saw this, I was like, could this be somehow tied to a plot sequence where he doesn't get his armor back, or he's separated from his armor for a long period of time? I mean, it was really painful to watch him hand over his armor into the trust of Cara Dune. I mean,
that tells you how much he trusts Cara Dune.
Yeah,
and she, all kidding aside, she's trustworthy. She's definitely now part of the Rangers. She's going to be part of the show. But it's just that he was like this. Be careful with this. Because that's a good idea for Boba Fett to take the armor and take off.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of money.
Thanks, Strappin, for stopping by. Definitely go watch season 2. Glad you just finished season 1. I'm glad we're inspiring some more Mando fans, hopefully. So their mission, now that they are all suited up in tank trooper armor, which I'm sure we're gonna get a pop of probably for San Diego Comic-Con if I had to guess for next year, which I'm totally okay with. That would be awesome. Give me another tank trooper. I'm totally down. And they get in this really badass juggernaut, which is this massive vehicle with like 8 wheels on each side, big old monster truck looking thing. However, it's carrying some highly explosive and highly volatile Rhydonium. So that poses a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, they that vehicle was also introduced in Revenge of the Sith on Kashyyyk when they went to with the Chewbacca's planet. They had them. They actually made this is smaller than that version, but yeah. So they had to go in it and drive slow, and that's when Mayfield started talking to Mando about things, and he wasn't having it. He was just sitting there.
Yeah,
and it made you think about a lot, even though he was making wisecracks. His thought process,
he was
like
bringing up valid points as much as he was, and he knew it. He was taking pot shots at him, but he was like,
this whole season,
what is the rule? You can't take the helmet off. You can't let somebody see your face. There's a difference.
Yeah. He was kind of saying what we were all thinking like 6 episodes ago.
Question his creed and his beliefs, and you know he's getting those gears turning in his head. It's like, what are you willing to do? And like you're willing to keep changing your beliefs to get what you need to get done, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But you know, Mayfield's pointed out, well, the first time, you said you can't take your helmet off. Well, you took your helmet off, but is it you can't take your helmet off? You can't see your face. He's right.
So a lot of valid points, and you know, as soon as he said, he goes, I'm just like you, and that's when he goes, listen, then we get this straight. You're never going to be like me.
Yeah.
You know, which you got to think about it. You know, he's been thrown to a loop this whole season. All the Mandalorians taking the helmets off. He's finding out this. He's finding out that, and how close he is to the child, the connection that he has with the child. So, look, it's going to set up something bigger later on in the picture. That if he gives up his creed, his religion, other people aren't going to like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can rest assured that it's setting up for something down the road with the armor if she ever comes back.
She's gonna come back. There's no way they're gonna let her.
She's gonna come
back.
Gonna
come back.
Next season probably, but I like that whole sequence, the talking part.
Yeah,
Mayfield.
And I liked how he was trying to get him to take off the helmet. Like he took it off, and he was like, "Oh, I feel so good without the helmet." You know,
hot.
You can't see through them, and
So there was two really quick things that I was thinking about as I saw the Juggernaut roll on down the road. First off, I want that Lego set. So I know Lego's probably watching the stream tonight. I really hope they can make that into a Lego set because that would be badass. And number two, I thought it was kind of a very loose callback to Han Solo making the Kessel Run, just because with the Kessel Run, you know, they had the unstable product, you know, on board. But they had to go super fast. You know, they had to do it in less than 14 parsecs, where this was the opposite. They had to go super slow. So I don't know if anybody else made that connection. I thought it was just a very loose, maybe possibly a callback to the Kessel Run.
Well, listen, everything this season that's been done, there's a callback to a lot of different things, which if you find the little callbacks, the Easter eggs, the different overall arcs on all the episodes, it really is truly... I love it. I love all the callbacks and the mentionings and like just the overall plot lines that they basically on a similar path of what we've seen before. Yeah.
Just with some slight variations, which is cool because it gives roots to the old generations and is also exciting, you know, for the newer generations who are just getting into it. But we're rolling down the road in our Juggernaut here. And we already kind of talked about this. You know, we passed the villagers and we're kind of slowing down as some of them are blocking the road. And that's when Mayfield brings up the fact that, you know, these villagers, they don't know good, evil, bad, good, you know, bad guys, good guys. They're all the same. Somebody's invading, someone's being ruled, and someone's doing ruling. Yeah. You know, so I thought that was a good perspective, something cool to bring up.
Mando looked at the kid, and the kid and he felt that he knew, like just the way the kid looked at him as he went by, and that's when we get the little attack.
Yeah, we see some.
Question now.
Yeah,
some people have been some other YouTubers. People have been talking about it. Are they just pirates, or are they the natives of that planet that were protecting their planet? because think about it, they actually were the good guys.
Well, they were straight up. They weren't, because I don't think they were pirates, because they weren't trying to steal it. They were trying to blow it up.
Blow it up.
So I believe they're the natives, or they're like the militia of that planet, or whatever.
But that's kind of crazy. Like you see, and when Mando fought them, what did he do? Basically, who's the bad guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, technically Mando is. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I thought that too, that it was just, they had masks on, like, they said they were pirates, but yeah, they were probably the home villagers of that planet. And the more Rhydonium they can prevent the Empire from, synthesizing or whatever the word was, producing and turning into more weapons, that's better for them. Maybe that gets them off the planet quicker,
Yeah, so basically, and that's the truth. But then we actually find out, like, I like the whole sequence when Mando went out to fight the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the choreography of the entire fight scene. That he's badass. He's still badass. He fights with his armor, but then he finds out that how precious his armor really is.
Yeah, how much he uses.
Well, there was a couple things with his fighting style. You find out that he's actually pretty proficient hand to hand, which I really liked. Because after his blaster ran out, he had to resort to, he kind of tossed it aside and had to fight with nothing but his hands. But yeah, you see his armor getting just absolutely obliterated. And I felt like the first couple shots that they got at him, he was relying on it. And then he kind of realized that,
he went to block with one and he took the shot, and you could tell it hurt.
He felt it.
Yeah. His arm, he felt that one.
Absolutely. And him with the spears kind of foreshadows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I saw that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, the way he picked it up and he right at that guy. That was pretty sick.
So that really was good. And I definitely enjoyed the fact that when they got to a certain point, like when he was standing there and all the pirates are coming and he had his fists to get ready to fight, that was like actually foreshadowed against the Mudhorn when he had the knife and he was sitting there getting ready and he was saved by the child. But this time he was saved by the most likely of all the stormtroopers.
Well, so the whole fight on the Juggernaut, I was having definite flashbacks to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yes.
Indy on the tank, and all the Nazis keep coming on and getting on the tank, and you can just see Indy's taking a beating as the fight goes, but he still keeps going and he improvises his way through it. So I had that flashback when I was watching. Like, it was almost a throwback to Indy for me on that one.
There was also a movie back in the 60s or 70s about a truck driver that had explosives, and the pirates are going on top of him. He had a fight on top of the truck. I forgot the name of the movie. They mentioned it. Basically it's a callback to just about a lot of different movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, him fighting to keep his balance, but they kind of threw in, they can't go too fast, but they also don't want to slow down because the pirates are chasing them and everything. So it's kind of, there's a lot of variables at play. And then it was pretty cool too. I thought it was a little bit long for the time sequence it took for when one of the pirates or the militia or whatever we want to call them attached the thermal detonator. The time it took for him, he was on his back. He threw off one guy, he rolled out from another guy, and then he ran over, and then he was able to grab it, throw it, and then it exploded. What did you guys think about that? Just the length of time.
We knew he had to do that because it could blow up.
Yeah, if he blew up,
the bombs go off later in a certain sequence than they would go normally. Just for the action scene, which the best scene was when they all had terminated.
When they all activated. That was cool. And I loved seeing, it was the least, I wasn't expecting it, but you kind of knew somebody, because there was a moment, like what you said, when he put his fists up, you kind of knew that he was out for the count and they were going to have to do something else to save him.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were so excited to see two TIE fighters roar in,
Yeah, even Mayfield went, yeah.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, think about this. As I keep telling you that Mando is eventually going to have Force sensitive. Every time he gets to a certain situation, someone saves him. When the time comes where there's going to be stress where nobody's going to save him, that's when he's going to truly show his ability. Because it's foreshadowing every time. All these situations he's in that you think he's not going to get out of, he's saved at the right moment.
Yeah.
So, you know what? The season finale might have that at the end where people are talking about certain things, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But this scene, the best part of the scene, when he was fighting the pirates and the TIE fighters came in, the stormtroopers for the first time had accurate shots. They killed everybody.
Yeah, that was crazy actually.
We're like, wow, the best shot stormtroopers ever. But when they got off the truck and they went inside, everybody was cheering them. That was a callback to when the rebels won in Star Wars, when everybody was cheering for the Death Star. So you saw that perspective, which is kind of cool. That you see the opposite side. That's what I want to see. And that's why the Acolyte, when that comes out, you get to see the opposite side, the dark side part.
And that was kind of cool, like seeing Mayfield like salute everybody as they went in and everything. And you could tell there was almost like a moment of relief, but then also, they're now in the enemy's, headquarters. They still got a lot of work to do. So this was only one half of the mission, just getting there.
Getting into the base,
yeah.
I actually like the fact that how quick they found the IP station where they had to go.
Yeah, that also seems very like, okay, it was just off to the right.
So convenient how easy it was to get to.
Yeah.
But then they made it the fact where, they have to rush these episodes. It's like the episodes are going in, like you expect something else. Like, oh, they're going to go in, have a dogfight. No, they go right in when he got, it's like, wow. So they're going quick. They're cutting out all that stuff and they're going in quick just to get to the parts that they have to get, which I'm not complaining. It's just kind of funny.
It's like in the last episode when they had to get to the Seeing Stone with Grogu. It's like we were expecting them another delay to happen, and nope, they just got right there, no problem.
It was right there, yeah. It was. They didn't have to fly like the opposite side of the planet. It was just boom right there. And it's just kind of funny sometimes these planets are massive, right? Or they make them appear that they're massive, and it's like, oh nope, it's right there. That's the point.
Yeah, they fly right into the spot where they have to go.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, come on, this isn't Waze or anything. But yeah, of course they walk in and Mayfield, he starts to go for it and he kind of has to backtrack because he sees an officer that is probably going to recognize him. So, and then Mando has to step up, and this is a very critical moment, kind of solidifies the theory or the storyline of the whole episode. And that is, you have to make sacrifices for the people you love. So you see how much he loves Grogu. And I don't know if we said it, but Grogu wasn't even in this episode. And I think that solidified and that just amplified how much he loves him because he wasn't there. We didn't get any glimpses of him. So you could really see.
And when he walked in there, of course, he hesitant, looked over at the officers that's sitting there, and then walked over to walked over there, and he's doing it, and it's scanning his helmet, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah, he was hoping it would get through with it without it.
It's kind of funny. Did you get the same feeling that it was foreshadowing that his helmet was coming off this episode?
Well, we knew it was going to happen eventually, and we were running out of episodes. When it came on, I wasn't sure, but then as the episode went on, I was like, you know what, he's going to do it, because I was expecting more of an episode where he was forced to take it off because of. He became prisoner and stuff like that, but they did it in a way where, to move the episode along.
Choice. It wasn't removed from him. It wasn't pulled off. It didn't fall off. He had to choose to do it, and he made that choice to do it.
Was also a little loophole going back to what we talked about in the beginning. He didn't remove his own helmet. He removed the tank trooper helmet. So I don't know if they, in his head, like that was the loophole that he was trying to talk himself through.
He maybe if they exactly. But it was kind of cool when he did remove it, how awkward he felt. Because he was going to get out of there. All of a sudden, of course,
so here's the other thing, too. We've seen Bo-Katan take her helmet off. We've seen her, and their hair looks great. And he takes his helmet off, and it's
Cobb Vanth.
It's all over the place.
Oh, Cobb Vanth was the best.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth looked like
everybody else has fantastic helmet head.
I was jealous.
He takes his off. He looks like he just rolled out of bed.
Yeah.
Boba Fett with his bald head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, he did the scan, got everything he had to, turns
well,
around.
he was pressure too, because he only had 10 seconds. That was counting down from when the initial miss scan. Yeah.
And he got it just in time, and it's about to walk away, and guess who's standing there? The commanding officer that Mayfield knew that he worked under.
Yeah.
that was a good scene. I love the fact that the way he talked and like he's not looking at him in the eyes, like he's looking and then looking down, like he's awkward. Like you feel comfortable. Like
Well,
when
it's
you go on a
awkward
date.
and you're inferior, you know.
Yeah, like when you meet a girl for the first time, you look at her and she's like looking at you, and you're like sometimes you don't look at her because you're like you got turn around, that kind of like shyness because the
Yeah.
helmet is his cover of who he is, and he feels more confident.
Now he's exposed.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's
Well,
exposed.
it's like if you want to go back, if you want to reference it to like Rorschach and Watchmen, when they, if you read that book or saw that movie, when they take his mask off, that's like, no, you just took my face off. Like that's his identity. That's who he identifies as. So like, it's what Dom said. It's not the man that makes the armor. It's the armor, or not the armor that makes the man. It's the man that makes the armor. And that's he's comfortable in that helmet. Without that helmet on, he's very awkward. He's not confident in himself.
Yep.
With it on him.
And look, it goes for all superheroes too. They have the masks like Spider-Man, like Batman. All those guys wear masks to cover up because they're not worried about themselves. They're worried about their families.
Yeah.
Because they can hold their own. It's their families they can't protect because, they can't be one place and protect everybody. So it goes with the same thing with Mando too, that he's used to the helmet. And look, there's millions of Imperials out there that they'll see you, they won't recognize you from one way to another. So I believe that he really did a great job with that whole being uncomfortable and that out of his surroundings, out of his uniform, out of his armor.
And Mayfield had to come over and rescue him a little bit as he was drowning.
Right in. He got over his fears and went in and saved him.
Yeah,
I know, and I like the fact that they had the little Office Space reference about the reports.
The TPS reports. Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah,
that was funny. And then called him Brown Eyes.
Yeah, and the commanding officer laughed about that. He was like, "Come on, Brown Eyes.
Come on, Brown Eyes." But and then it brings it to the part of the episode which really was the layer part, where I really thought was a fantastic, meaningful part in all the whole season. That one little part when Mayfield, Mando, and the officer were sitting there at the table talking.
That was a tense scene.
Yeah.
In Inglourious Bastards, man. Really that type of scene where you really see that you work for somebody, the true picture, the true colors of somebody, what they're looking for. Like you work for somebody because you believe in their cause, but then you actually see what their cause really is.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, I don't want no part of this. So, and then plus Mayfield was suffering from,
PTSD.
Yeah, suffering from that.
And you could see him like gradually, like he was getting uncomfortable as the officer was going on.
Well, it was like almost
boiling in his face.
It was like sickening. You could see like this guy
angrier.
This guy was talking. He just rolled off his chest. This one mission where they were 5,000. Yeah, or 5,000 of his brothers in arms at the time were just died, and the guy just goes, I had to make several unpleasant decisions that day. Like that was it.
Remember, I told you about the set ability of the soldiers that they don't care; they'll kill them off.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Empire does.
Yeah,
like you
makes
fight
them
first,
expendable.
We'll kill you. It doesn't matter because we'll get new ones. And
and he just called them heroes of the Empire. That's it. That's it.
Heroes of the Empire.
And I also thought it was a unique take because we've never really seen this perspective where the Empire has fallen, yet they're sitting there and thinking they have the upper hand because he's saying the New Republic's in complete disarray. We're ready to strike and they're going to welcome us in with open arms. Like that was like, whoa. So they think they have the upper hand after everything that just happened.
See, it's crazy because if you think about it, after the fall of the Empire, all the different militias, all the warlords, all those people, everybody always thinks, I have an army. Like Moff Gideon. Moff Gideon is that type of warlord that has an army, and he knows what he's capable of doing. He wants to build upon that, and that's where the other arc might come along with Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the fleet that he's going to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that in a minute, but the fact is that Mayfield's face, how it changed from that smile and joking to like, I can't take this anymore.
Yep.
And then he blew him away.
Yep.
Didn't you feel bad for the,
first, like Nick said in the
the
chat.
short trooper with the lunch?
Oh,
Came by.
Yeah.
The poor guy just wanted to have his lunch, and he's just standing there going, "What the hell?"
He's
my
like, I
brother brought that up.
picked a bad day.
My brother brought that up. He goes, "Didn't you feel bad for that guy?" Well,
I felt terrible for him.
Well, then they took out like 20 more of them.
That was actually awesome. But then the cool part, when they broke out the window, you had Cara Dune and Femme Shan just wiping them out, sniping them.
Right,
Oh, they were just calling it, like, halfway up, middle left, 4 feet over.
Like
that was cool. It was like I was about to say, it was just like Battlefront or something. You're just up in the buildings on Cloud City, just picking them off. So,
and then they escape. They run along the thing, and Boba Fett goes with the ship, which is kind of cool how it goes over their heads, and they jump on, and they take off. And then I like when Mayfield blew up the canisters, the sharpshooting, which that was cool. But what was even cooler comes next.
Yeah. Well, I liked what he said too. And he looks at Mando and he was like, got to sleep at night. So that's kind of like what you were talking about. He's done all this bad, but he tries to balance it out with a little bit of good. And it was a good shot. It was a good shot.
It was.
Hey. They've established that he was a sharpshooter. Yeah. So,
and that was something I'm glad they did that, because they were talking about, about him being a sharpshooter, but for the most of the episode, you didn't see him use any of that skills. He was essentially the driver,
Yeah.
So, and then even like Cara Dune and Shen, they commented that was a hell of a shot,
Yeah.
How cool would it be to see those three together?
Oh, that would be sick. Mando's little army
they bring
there.
them back. If they do like the series, the Republic, the new Rangers of the New Republic, that would be kind of cool.
That'd be
have them three and Cobb Vanth. Imagine that.
I think those are four quality candidates for that show right there. So,
but then again, it gets a little too crowded. Someone has to go.
I don't think so. I mean, look at how many characters we've had this season where they've all gotten, a good fair amount of time and still developed their character arc. They moved the story along. They've interacted well with Mando. I think it can be done. Maybe not all in the same episode for every episode. If you spread it out.
Mm-hmm. It could be like the comic books where they have a rotating group. Like every month they have somebody new come in the group.
Yeah.
Like that for a special mission. Like
Absolutely.
the Thunderbolts.
Absolutely.
But the best part was when Boba took off and shot the detonator charge.
The sonic grenade.
The seismic grenade. Yeah.
Seen those in Attack of the Clones.
Nice little callback there.
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Jango Fett.
I love those bombs too. They're just it just goes dead silent, and that thwong is just irradiates everything in his path.
And then after that happened, I'm kind of like, you think about it, they let Mayfield go really quick. Kind of like he redeemed himself after doing all the stuff he did. Kind of that's what I'm saying. Star Wars is fun. It's for kids. You do one good thing after doing it, like Vader. He got redeemed. He killed the kids. He did this. He did that for 20 years. A tyrant.
Yeah.
And then he got redeemed. So it's Star Wars. It's fun. It's about finding the good in every person.
I thought honestly they weren't going to let him go. I thought they were going to say, because they were like, oh, I thought so-and-so died. I thought I saw prisoner 3482 or whatever his number was die. I thought he was then going to be part of their crew. Like, no. Like, you're not going to be able to go free yet. We still have a job to do. Yeah. I thought they were going to tie him into the mission permanently. But he served his purpose. So
he's going to come back. I think he's going to come back and be part of the Rangers of the New Republic. I have a feeling, because what's kind of funny? Bill Burr mocked Star Wars, hated it, and Jon Favreau called them up and said, "Listen, it'll be fun. The fans will get a kick out of it."
Yeah,
and he did it. And now this episode, people love Bill Burr. I've read so many comments saying that he saved Star Wars. I don't know why he saved, but he was a breath of fresh air in the series. You have that comical part, but not too crazy, and the action part. Which, look, episode 6, The Prisoner, last season, a lot of people didn't like that episode. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it because I like that type of a scenario where you have different people in a group and you have to do things. And the line that Mayfield made me laugh was when when they told Mando he's an ex-Imperial sharpshooter, he goes, "That's not impressive." He goes, "I wasn't a stormtrooper, smartass."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which foreshadows that. Which I actually want to see
Yeah.
him come back. I thought he did a fantastic job, and this episode, it's not over yet. We have a little bit more, but this episode had a lot more to it, layers, than people actually gave it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every episode has a purpose. Like, you might not see it right away, or like, even like the prisoner episode, everybody figured that was just a throwaway side mission for Mando to earn some extra cash. Yet, out of that, we got introduced to Trapper Wolf that we've seen again. He had
still want his pop.
Yep. Zero the robot, which came into effect later because he had him dismantled on the ship, and Frog Lady was able to use him to talk to Mando. And now, Mayfield coming back. So, I mean, what's to stop Xi'an and I forget the other guy's name, the big
was it Borg?
Borg, yeah, something like that.
Oh man,
Berg,
is it Berg?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so I mean, it's not to say that those ones wouldn't come back. Maybe they're not going to be as willing to help Mando. Maybe that's where Mayfield will step in and save Mando from them.
Right.
You never know. It could be down the road, and I can see him coming back because I actually like those characters. I like the diversity they have. Even though it felt like a Star Trek episode, that one particular episode, with the different characters, it still had layers to it that meant something. That it showed Mando was still progressing and who he was. He tried the officer, he tried saving him, but then Xi'an threw the knife and killed him. But you see the different layers, and this season, like I told you about the Razor Crest, it kept falling apart. That was Mando falling apart, got rebuilt again, fall apart again, and now the Razor Crest is no more. Now you see Mando. He took his helmet off. He's more becoming.
Yeah, he's really defying his core values and his original way. So
he's not becoming a mindless drone of his group that he came from. Yeah. He's becoming his own individual, making his own rules and following his own creed.
Absolutely. And then we got another twist at the end there, with the nice little hologram message that he sent Moff Gideon.
It was a great message.
It was great.
Because it was verbatim what Gideon introduced to him in season 1.
Look, him doing that, if you look at Moff Gideon's eyes, Moff Gideon's like, wow, never expected that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get from both of you. What was your take on Moff Gideon's reaction? He didn't seem scared, but he definitely seemed a little...
There was some concern in his face.
Concern, yeah. I wasn't nervous. I felt like concern is a good word.
I don't think he saw it coming. And Gideon prides himself on being precise and knowing what's coming on, what's going down the line, and being in full control. And with that transmission came in, it's like a curveball to his plan. He thought he'd have the kid and be done and over with, because he assumed, Mando was a bounty hunter. He figured, okay, he got paid. I'm taking the kid. He shouldn't have personal stakes in this.
Yeah.
See, exactly. So he got the kid. He destroyed his ship. Said, Mando, you know what? Another thing too is that I don't think Moff Gideon really knows that Boba Fett is part of is helping him out, unless Moff Gideon has Boba Fett doing that to hold Mando down.
Which I could really see. It could all be just part of a twisted trap. And, Mando thinks he's going to charge after Gideon next episode, only to turn around and find that, Boba's like, this is all part of the plan or whatever.
Turn on him. I don't.
Look, I have a feeling that the season finale is going to end with Grand Admiral Thrawn's fleet coming into the fray.
I could see that.
They're on the ship. They're on the ship fighting Moff Gideon, and all of a sudden, Thrawn's fleet comes in, and you're going to see a whole bunch of different ships, and that's how it's going to go dark. That I don't think you're going to see Grand Admiral Thrawn. You're going to see the 7th Fleet come in, and it's going to end like that, and that's going to be the cliffhanger.
I mean, it would also be cool if, I don't know, something happens, like they try to infiltrate Moff Gideon's ship, and the whole episode is centered around, them trying to rescue Grogu. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And then at the end, you kind of have like a Thanos reveal, where you go off to where maybe Moff Gideon calls him up and says, hey, we fended him off. We still have the child. And then on the other end, you see, Admiral Thrawn going good. And then maybe they zoom out. I'm just telling you, if they do an actual Thrawn reveal, his pop is gone. $500 gone.
His comic book first appearance.
Yeah, his comic book.
I have the first appearance. It's $300 raw. I have the book. It's a $2,000 book graded 9.8 now.
That's insane.
That's how crazy it is.
That's insane.
And that's why I think. Look, it's going to be like a 40-minute episode. It's going to start off with him just getting there on the ship because they go right into episodes. Remember, they still have to fight the Dark Troopers. We haven't seen them in action yet. That's one play.
Yes.
And I think it's just Mando, Fennec Shand, Cara Dune, and Boba Fett. That's all that's going in.
It's not enough.
Nobody else.
That's not enough.
No,
I don't think it's enough.
You don't think Bo-Katan's going to show up with her squad, figure out where Gideon is? Or you think Mando's going to call them?
I know. I actually think Bo-Katan might show up and said, help is on the way. And that's when Grand Admiral Thrawn's fleet comes in. That's going to be the big... That's going to be like the moment like, holy crap. It's going to end like that. Because it has to end. Look, I don't think Thrawn's face...
It's gonna end on a bad cliffhanger for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know which way the episode's gonna go. I don't even know if they're gonna make it even anywhere near Moff Gideon or, Grogu. He's got all the cards right now, and unless there's a curveball where Bo-Katan shows up with way more Mandalorians than we're expecting. But other than that, I don't see much of a fight.
All right. How about Grogu? He turns around. He's standing there. He has a darksaber, and that's how it ends.
That'd be a pretty epic pop.
or they cut to the end and Grogu's eyes go that Sith yellow.
Yeah, I think that could be
dark side tendencies to him.
That could be too, because I think they're aiming towards that too as well. So, like I said, there's so many different ways it can go, and it's going to go one way or the other. One of these predictions that we're talking about is going to go that way. They might throw us a curveball, something totally completely different.
There's been plenty of curveballs, and but. Anyway, I got a small surprise for everybody who's been in here tonight. So I tried to mix it up tonight. So instead of posting a picture on Instagram, letting everybody know what we're giving away, I figured, you know what? Let's see who sticks around to the end of the stream and is a true Star Wars fan and is worthy of tonight's giveaway. It's a pretty cool pop. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty cool pop. I've had this one sitting around. I wanted to do a giveaway for it because I love it in my collection, and I think other Star Wars fans would like it too. It's actually the same character that Jason is rocking on his shirt right now.
Oh boy.
So guys, check out this one. This is the hooded Yoda, and
Nice.
This is arguably my favorite Yoda pop. We've done a bunch of Child/Grogu giveaways, but I figured, you know what? Let's go back to the OG from this species, the hooded Yoda.
I like that Yoda.
I do too. I like the lightsaber. He's got a little lightsaber action, a little force, like he's about to use the force a little bit. I like this one. No, Professor Josh, not doing the Boba Fett Freddy. Apologize, not doing that one. And of course, guys, we'll throw in one of our Christmas Slapshot Pops pucks. I know everybody's been asking me about these. Don't worry, we're gonna try to get as many out there as possible. So I'll ask. Let's see who was paying attention. I got a good question for everybody tonight. I got a good one. I know Dom, Jason, you guys will probably think this is too basic, but we'll see. We'll see. I try to go middle of the road. All right, so tonight's question, first one to get it right, you do not have to spell it right at all. If we can make it out, then you will win. And Jason and Dom can help me out. So what was the name? We said it several times. What was the name of the vehicle that Mando and Mayfield drove for half the episode? So that whoever can come up with the name or close to the name will win this pop and of course one of our pucks. So I think that is pretty fair question.
Yeah. I thought you actually go with the name of the chemical that they were carrying.
No, no. I had to figure that out.
Yeah.
All right, I think Nick and Luke.
Yep.
Nice.
And I think you spelled it right too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Juggernaut. That is correct. So, congratulations, Nick's and Luke's adventure tour. You guys are taking home the Yoda and, of course, one of our pucks. So, congratulations. You guys are in the stream every week. Appreciate that. I think I might have your address, but if you get a chance, just shoot it to me again on my Instagram page so I can shoot you your prize. So, let's see.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
That's a good pop.
Congrats.
Yeah, for sure. So finale this week. Crazy, right? That we're already here. But we do have plenty of stuff next year to look forward to. We're going to take a brief break with our Monday night live streams just to give Joanna and I a break so we can catch up on everything with our channel. But then we are going to jump right back into Marvel Mondays with WandaVision. So I'm very excited about that.
Now, did you see the preview they had with the WandaVision?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really psyched for it. It actually really like caught me.
It's gonna be weird. Like
Yes.
It's definitely gonna be weird.
So, all right. So Joanna's giving me a heads up. So I apologize. I didn't see the message pop up. A bunch of them popped up really quick, but it looks like General Grievous actually won before Nick and Luke's. So I apologize. So General Grievous is our winner. Sorry, guys. Sometimes the messages, they pop up really quick. So we want to make that correction. So General Grievous, congratulations for winning tonight's giveaway. So, and General Grievous, special shout out to him as well. He just became a patron of the channel. So congratulations on that as well. I'll be sure to throw this in your patron box for December. So sorry about that. I looked at the first comment and there was already a bunch, so they all went up. But yes, I did see the WandaVision trailer, and I'm pretty excited about it, along with a whole slew of other reveals that Disney gave us.
Oh yeah, the Loki trailer looks really good too.
Yeah, Loki's gonna be insane. Yes. Loki's gonna be insane. I'm excited about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I loved the trailer. Did you guys see that where he was like, the history of this shield is complicated? I love that because it really is. Like a lot of people, I'm a huge Captain America buff. A lot of people don't know about the the Super Soldier Serum, program, and Wolverine and all the other. There's so many other different people that have carried the shield. Captain America was frozen in the ice for so long. There was other people that took up his mantle. So we're gonna get into all that. Absolutely.
I can tell you one thing. There's just so many different things that are gonna happen with all the series that are coming on and the movies. When we do go back to movies, that's when things are gonna really take off. When the movies do come back. All these shows are just a little appetizer.
Yeah.
So.
I actually like the shows. I think we're getting 8 episodes of Mando, which are 30 to 40 minutes each, which is the equivalent to almost the runtime of 2 to 3 films.
Yeah.
It might not be one chunk, but it's getting it spread out. It's a slow burn, but we're getting more content than we would if they decided just to do one movie Mandalorian story.
Absolutely. So Nick and Luke's, so yes, since it was my mistake, I will drop a puck in the mail for you guys. That was my mistake.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I apologize. So yeah, I will get a holiday puck in the mail for you guys. But yeah, we have lots of Marvel content to look forward to next year. So I think we have so much stuff to keep us busy. It will fill the void, and it will, keep us busy until Mando season 3. I can't believe we're saying season 3 already.
It just thinks it's going to be on Christmas Day, a season of 2021, towards the end of 2021, going into 22. So it feels like it's going to be a long time, actually a year, which really, hopefully they have stuff that, like the Boba Fett series, along with the Bad Batch, should hold us off, and the WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. So you have 4 different series coming on throughout the year.
Yeah.
Well, the What If series is supposed to be coming too, right?
Yes. Oh, so that is something I really want to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer about that. So hyped for that.
Yeah.
So hyped because it's basically taking everything we've had through the first 11 years of the MCU. Forget about it. Mash it up. It's going to be crazy. I mean, just the fact Peggy becoming Captain Britain. I mean, it's just so much cool stuff. And I hope if Funko does anything, give us some cool pops from the What If series.
I love the animation for the What If. It reminds me of old Disney cartoons. It has that feeling of the old, it's like the old Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs, Bam, the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just the drawings, how
the style is really good. Yeah.
It's gonna be
at the end of that trailer when you've got Bucky facing off against Zombie Cap, which was just
that was cool. That was cool. And I just T'Challa being, in the place of Star-Lord, just so much cool stuff.
They're going to take everything you know and throw it a curveball.
Yeah.
Which is what the comic series did too, which I was a big fan of. Was the comics.
What I'm really into?
Take one thing and spin it.
Look, the What If books, they have so many what ifs.
Yeah.
Different
stories. They've got tons of material.
They can go 5-10 years with this the cartoons if they really wanted to.
Unless they're gonna, I think they're just sticking with the MCU version. What if? So it's gonna change that way.
I think it would get too complicated if you did MCU plus comic book.
Yeah.
I think people would just be lost. So.
Yeah, I think if they stick it with just the MCU, I think it'll be huge. There's so many different angles you can take on things.
I can tell you one thing.
Right.
Spider-Man is going to be insane.
Oh yeah, so hyped for Spider-Man.
Look, they just there was just a report. Rumor has it that William
Dafoe,
and what's his name, Sandman, are in negotiation talk to come back.
Oh, they're trying to get them too. Wow.
Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, it's either one thing that's going to happen. It's going to be a total insane movie that people are going to be talking about, endgame-ish stuff, or it's going to turn out to be the same old Sony lousiness that they did.
No, because from what I'm reading, though, the amount of time that each character is going to be in the movie is so minuscule. It's still going to focus on Tom Holland and his storyline. Mm-hmm. At least from what I've read, I don't know how accurate these reports are. Is that they're either going to be super small cameos, they're going to be very small flashbacks, or they're going to all be visions of Doctor Strange.
Well, look, I heard
so it's all fabricated coming out of his head from the multiverse.
Look, I heard one thing. The story's going to be based on Zendaya's and MJ and Tom Holland, Spider-Man's relationship.
Yeah.
And it's going to become complicated because the villains aren't coming for him. They're going for his family. So that's when Doctor Strange comes in. So what happens is because of WandaVision, she broke the fabric.
She's going to screw
all the different realities. And so apparently what happens is that Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock get thrown into Tom Holland's universe. At the same time, Andrew Garfield with Electro. That's happening. So when that happens, all the world are closing in. So they said the second to third act is going to be with Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Mephisto is going to be the main antagonist.
Oh.
So
it'd be insane.
They said that, and the fight scenes are going to be like through space and time. So there's time travel with reality bending. So Tom Holland's going to it's going to be nuts. They said that it's going to be like the first Doctor Strange, but 10 times and nuts. So
I'm a big fan of the first Doctor Strange film. So
I did.
I love that movie.
No, it was definitely good. But we got all kinds of excitement to look forward to besides Star Wars. So we're gonna be breaking it down. We're gonna be nerding out every Monday. It's gonna be exciting. Yes, General Grievous wants Dom to do an entire collection video. I think everybody wants that. We're trying to push him to start his channel in 2021. I think we've agreed that it's going to start in 2021. So TBD on when it will start. Still working on a name and everything. But it's gonna happen. He's definitely gonna do a collection video.
It's gonna happen. Look, next year will be a year of of many different happiness moments, and me getting a YouTube channel will be one.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed.
And in case you guys don't know, Colorado Pops, my man Jason, he already has a channel, so go check him out. I think they're right around 250 subs, I want to say, or you're closing in on it.
250, yeah, we're right on the cusp of hitting 250. So we're
nice.
So.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. 250 is a good number as well. Yep. Also, General Grievous messaged me on Instagram at Slapshot Pops. I'll walk you through everything with the Patreon program. Make sure you get your giveaway prize. Thank you guys for helping me. We are almost at 900 subscribers, so we're closing in on another mini milestone. And then, of course, we're trying to get to that magic 1,000. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Tonight was awesome. And I want to give us a little break. In case you guys don't know, Professor Josh does his Mail Call Monday live stream every Monday at 9:30. So go grab a glass of water, a drink, something, quick bite to eat, and then head on over to his channel and go hang out with him for a couple minutes. But guys, this was awesome. We got the finale this Friday of season 2. It's gonna be crazy next week breaking that down. I'm already like shaking, getting ready for the episode. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
The anticipation's so high. I just want it to go higher. I don't want it to come down. I want it to stay.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I'm tempted to record myself watching it and then go back and see the reactions to my face because it's going to be.
I'm up at 3 a.m. watching this episode. I can't be any louder than I am because my wife.
I'm staying up. I'm staying up. It's gonna be epic. But like I said, guys, go check out Domtober on Instagram. Make sure you're following him. And make sure you subscribe to Colorado Pops. Collecting with Red just hit 112 subscribers. That's awesome. So make sure you guys go check out him as well. And this is the way.
This is the way.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We will see everyone soon.